Defense Equal Opportunity Climate Survey, directed by the Commandant. We made improvements this year to make sure that every single person in the Coast Guard had the ability to have their voice heard on critical issues dealing with how we run the workplace. The DEOCS survey is seen at the highest levels within the organization. I review every single one of those results. They're discussed at our flag conferences amongst our senior enlisted workforce, amongst our senior civilian workforce, and we take those things for action. As an example, the DEOCS survey results for the Coast Guard and the critical areas where we need improvement are actually being specifically worked on in the human capital strategy, which is one of the Commandant's signature initiatives, and this DEOCS survey is foundational for the human capital strategy and what we need to actually add to our work list to take care of our workforce. This year was different because we got every member of the Coast Guard included in the DEOCS survey this time around. When I took over as Vice Commandant, actually about 9% of our workforce, almost 5,000 people, were not able to participate in the DEOCS survey. We were not able to actually statistically sample units with less than 25 people on it because of anonymization concerns. If you're not aware, part of the tenets of the DEOCS survey is that your results will remain confidential, and that's very important in maintaining trust with the workforce. But when you get to very small units, anonymizing that data became a real challenge for us. So this year we were able to get 100% of the Coast Guard workforce to be able to participate in DEOCS, and that is a critical touchstone or foundation of the Commandant. Is he wanted everybody's voice to be heard in the DEOCS survey. But one of the key areas that the DEOCS survey says that we need improvements is in our internal communications. Now, we've kind of known this for a while, but internal communication is very much in flux these days, because the good news is there's never been so many ways to communicate with our workforce. The bad news is there's never been so many ways to communicate with our workforce, and it's a real challenge for us to figure out what is the best way to communicate with a very dispersed workforce and a very diverse workforce, all the way from junior people to senior people. How do you get that communications piece right so that we can make sure that our people are given the very best information possible? And that just doesn't mean our active duty members or even our civilians. That includes the broader Coast Guard family, the auxiliary, family members. How do you actually get that communications piece put together? And what we've done is we actually chartered an internal communications audit, and they've given us a number of suggestions on how we can better communicate with our workforce internally, and we're going to take that for action. I've actually stood up a group to take a look at the governance structure for our internal communications. We're going to get at that. But what lit us on the fuse, or what put us on the track, was that DEOCS survey and the feedback we got from the workforce. That's how we're able to make improvements. So I couldn't be any prouder of our effort to reach 100% here, and I couldn't be any prouder of our workforce. And I will tell the workforce, participate in the survey. You will be heard. You are being heard.